Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for another week of story time. I'm Mr. Garrett, and we're going to get started with our weather forecast. So you can get your weather felt pieces ready and we'll do the weather together. So it's been really hot this week, hasn't it? Really hot temperature outside and humid. So it's supposed to be a little nicer on Thursday this week. So we're in the 70s probably. And still sunny. Still have the sun up in the sky. Probably partly cloudy, so I'll put one little white cloud up in the sky, and something really interesting is happening. Do you know what something special that's happening in the sky today? It is an eclipse, a partial solar eclipse. Have you heard that word before? An eclipse? So it's basically when out in space, the moon is in between the Earth and the sun, so that from the Earth it looks like it's blocking the sun. So I made a little circle. You probably don't have this in your weather window, but if you want to cut out a circle of paper and put it over your sun. So just kind of cover it up like that. So it's really cool. Make sure you don't look directly at it though. It's important, unless you have really special glasses, you shouldn't look directly at the sun during an eclipse because it could hurt your eyes. But you can look at some cool pictures on the computer to see what a solar eclipse looks like. So that's happening today, and we have our tree. So check outside at your tree and see if the leaves are still there. We have a lot of green happening. All the blossoms that we saw growing during the spring, during the summer, we have all these leaves now. So check to see if how your tree's doing, and look to see if the weather forecast came true. See what it's like on Thursday, and then each day move your pieces around to tell the weather whenever you look out the window. All right, now we're gonna do our story. All right, so the story for this week is called Mr. Seahorse by Eric Carle. Have you read books by Eric Carle before? Let's see, if you ever read The Very Hungry Caterpillar or The Very Quiet Cricket, or the Mixed Up Chameleon. Those are some of the books that I really like from Eric Carle, and this is one of my other favorites. So it's a seahorse. Have you ever seen a seahorse in real life? Maybe at the aquarium? I don't know if I ever have. I've definitely seen a lot on TV. I always think they're really cool. This seahorse is very colorful. Very vibrant. He's doing all kinds of somersaults here too. Special thank you to Philomel Books for letting us read the book today. Alright. Mr. and Mrs. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea. Mrs. Seahorse began to wiggle and twist this way and that. I think this is Mrs. Seahorse right here. It's time for me to lay my eggs, she said. Can I help? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Oh, yes, thank you, said Mrs. Seahorse. And she laid her eggs into a pouch on Mr. Seahorse's belly. I'll take good care of our eggs, said Mr. Seahorse. I promise. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by a group of trumpet fish hidden in a patch of reeds. Ooh, so this is kind of a cool part of the book. Yeah, this thing kind of moves like this. So do you see any trumpet fish hiding in the grass? Let's see. Ah, there they are. It's 4 of them. Why do you think they're called trumpet fish? Take a look at them. They're kind of the color of a trumpet. And they're also kind of like a long tube, almost like the part of the trumpet that you blow into. They're hiding in the grass, kind of like up and down like that. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Stickleback? asked Mr. Seahorse. Delighted, replied Mr. Stickleback. I just built a nest, and right away, Mrs. Stickleback laid her eggs into it. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. Keep up the good work, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. Oh, that's a kind of cool nest. Oh, this is another fish dad who's taking care of his babies. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by a lionfish hidden behind a coral reef. Ooh, a lionfish. Alright, so picture what you think a lionfish would look like. See, do you have a picture in your head? Alright, let's see if we're right. Can you see it hiding behind there? Ready? Whoa! Yeah, I see it. Yeah, like all the stuff kind of coming out from the side looks kind of like the mane of a lion. He's blending in with the coral. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Tilapia?" asked Mr. Seahorse. Mr. Tilapia couldn't answer. His mouth was full of eggs. I know, said Mr. Seahorse. "Mrs. Tilapia laid her eggs. Now you're taking good care of them until they hatch." Mr. Tilapia nodded his head. "You must be very happy," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. Oh, look at all those eggs in there. That's a very interesting way to take care of eggs. Yes, some fish do that. They all have their different ways of caring for their babies. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by several leaf fish hidden among the seaweed. Ooh, so the lionfish looked like kind of like a lion. So leaf fish probably look like a leaf. It said several, so it didn't give us an exact number. Can you see any? Try to look for the eyes. Sometimes if you look for the eyes, you can see it better. Count how many you can find here. Let's see, I think I might see at least one. Do you have a number? We should find out how many there are here. There were 2. Oh, they kind of do look like leaves, huh? But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Curtis?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Perfectly fine," replied Mr. Curtis. "Mrs. Curtis laid her eggs, and I have stuck them on my head." On his head? "Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch." "You are doing a good job," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. Yep, so they're stuck on his head like that. Mr. Seahorse is upside down, too. Getting a good look at everything. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by... Ooh, another fish doing some camouflage, kind of blending in. A stonefish hidden behind a rock. Ooh. Alright, it's behind this giant rock. Do you see the outline of a fish anywhere? I think I see something. Find out. I have a feeling this is going to be kind of a big guy. Yep. He's huge. Kind of does look like a rock. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Pipe?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Couldn't be better," replied Mr. Pipe. "Mrs. Pipe laid her eggs along my belly. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch." "You should feel proud of yourself," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. Oh, so along his belly, just like Mr. Seahorse. They have that in common. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Bullhead?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Tip-top," replied Mr. Bullhead. "Mrs. Bullhead laid her eggs, and the eggs hatched. Now I'm babysitting." I call that just being a good dad. "You are doing a fine job," said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. Look at all those babies. Look at all these babies. The seahorse babies. The time had come for the seahorse babies to be born. Mr. Seahorse wiggled and twisted, this way and that. At last, the babies tumbled from Mr. Seahorse's pouch and swam away. One baby turned around and tried to come back into the pouch. "Oh no," said Mr. Seahorse. "I do love you, but now you are ready to be on your own." There they go. And Mr. Seahorse doing all his little somersaults. Actually, now that I look at these, I think these are probably the babies, huh? Yeah. Doing all their little twists and turns. Alright, so that leads us to our craft. So you can take out your little, your bag. If you don't have one of these, you can get a piece of paper and some crayons. And we're going to do some seahorse craft together. So in your bag this week, you'll notice that you have a big piece of white paper, kind of folded into 4s, and we have 4 little baby seahorses. So looks like the colors I have are purple, yellow, green, and orange. I think that's probably those are probably the colors that you have too. And if you don't have these, you can draw this little shape. It's kind of like a little curly Q, and then there's like a little nose up here. So first, we can take our piece of paper and draw a line down the middle like this, and then across like this, so that we have 4 different areas on the piece of paper. And I figured each one of these rectangles can be a picture of one of the baby seahorses, because remember at the end they go off and on their own to live their own little seahorse life in the coral reef. So I figured we could make some pictures imagining what kinds of adventures they have. So you can draw your own pictures and think of your own things that you want to include. I'm just going to make a couple examples. So I'm going to put the orange guy down here. I'm going to think of something that he could be doing. So I think this seahorse is going to, let's see, maybe this seahorse is looking at some of the coral that's in the coral reef. So I'm going to use pink. And if you look at a piece of coral, they come in all kinds of shapes. But sometimes they're kind of branchy like this. Almost like a little tree branch. They're kind of bumpy too, like that. And some coral almost looks like a big rock. Look at some of the pictures that shapes that coral look like. Really cool. Coral reefs are really cool because they have all kinds of animals and creatures all kind of living together. It's almost like a city underwater. Put a little bit of blue in the background like this. Okay, so I'm gonna get my glue stick, and this little guy is just gonna be inspecting the coral a little bit. All right, now look at the yellow one be doing. Maybe the yellow one met Nemo, little clownfish. So I'm gonna draw Nemo up here. You can think of what you want to put in your picture. Start to draw some details in yours. Maybe they're meeting another fish. Maybe they're looking for a new house. Here's his little fin. Go, I'm gonna color him in orange, and I'm also going to leave some black and white like this. So there's Nemo, and I also have to make his little anemone home. So maybe he's kind of peeking out and saying hi to the new neighbor, the new little seahorse. Hopefully the seahorse doesn't get too close to the anemone though, because that would hurt. That would sting. But Nemo is used to it, so it doesn't hurt him. Well, alright, so now I'm gonna glue this guy on here. So he's saying hello to Nemo. See, maybe another one over here. Maybe we could do the lionfish. Remember what that looked like? He's gonna be in the distance because I don't know if lionfish and seahorses get along, but I'm not sure. I have to learn a little bit more about lionfish. Okay, so there's a lionfish over there, and put this little seahorse down here. So maybe she's just swimming around down here. All right, now one more. So let's see, what can I do for the last one? Maybe. So we have a fish, we have a coral, we have a lionfish. Let's see. Oh, maybe this one's looking out into the distance and sees a dolphin kind of swimming around out here. swimming by the reef, we're going fishing. Do a little blue. Let's see. Go. Nice. So you can keep adding details. Maybe one of your pictures is an octopus, or maybe they meet another seahorse, or maybe they are looking for a new home, so they find some really cool rocks or shells or something. So you can think about what you want to add to your picture and just keep adding little details. And if you want to bring it into the library and show me, I'd love to see what you draw. So I hope you enjoyed that activity. So next week we'll be back at the same time, 10:30 on Thursday on our YouTube channel. We'll have a new book and a new craft, so you can stop by the library starting today to get the materials for next week. And you can also pick up a little brochure about the different things that we're doing at the library this summer. We have some really cool activities planned. So you can stop by and look at that, or look on our online calendar. So the link will be in the description of this video. And I hope to see everyone really soon. I hope you have a really wonderful weekend. Stop by the library, get some books, and say hi. And I'll see you all really soon. Take care, everyone.